on. ChurchBoi.
I take one look around, and my first response is, I cry. She stood there, looking over every wiggling inch of him, could barely see the truth within. One tear fell, and the others began. And I know why the tears fall. Although he can't hear it just yet, trust me, Ma, he feels all the pain in her cry, because her weeps and her breaths have one systematic rise. They go up, then fall. And her tears tell the story of why. Not the mistake that got her by, but the constant, unending cycle of one reality. A baby raising a baby. A baby raising a baby. See, that was enough to make her get high. Looking over every wiggling inch of him, she cried. Realizing that that one kiss that led to the one night, it was a Friday, that she thought was the best night, just in fact, just might be the end of her life and the beginning of his. And suddenly, realizing her reality inside, she died. Looking over every wiggling inch of him, she cried. Looking at her cry, I cried. Because all she ever wanted to think about was blue waters and sailing across life with no borders. Growing up, if she had a quarter for every time she heard she was beautiful, fuck being rich, she'd have enough cash to pass on to her granddaughter, because she'd be like a queen living in a palace, and with a stash, her subjects wouldn't be workers, they would be rewarders. The pain too deep for her to bear. It was like an anchor was being dropped in her heart. Everybody ignored her cries. Nobody cared. And now, her tears tell stories like testaments. People look at her, judge her, review her like estimates. No need to even finish the story. You could probably imagine the rest of it. Too ashamed to even hold her head up to make the best of it.
Come on.
She cried. Looking at her cry, I cried. See, I cried for the 40-year-old grandmother whose only daughter had an addiction to men so strong she almost dosed over. And because of her choices, she had no choice but to hand over her only son to her mother's care. And now, years later, mama's crying as she runs her hand over his limp body, because although she can see him, his spirit's not there. All he wanted to do was be a man. Him and God was all he needed. That was his master plan. He planned it a long time ago when he was a boy, thought he was thinking like a man. And all she ever wanted for him was his best life, like realizing past strife was supposed to make it better, but instead they both walked around wearing masks, hoping nobody could see the open hole they both had in their heart, laughing and joking so nobody could tell their laughter or their pain apart.
Wow.
And all he ever wanted to do was take over the world. So instead of dreaming of doctors and lawyers, his thoughts were filled with him conquering the world like superheroes and warriors. Worrying was all she ever did, because she knew anything else would put her in a state of euphoria, and that's the last place she wanted to behave. And with all the scars, with all the tears, with all the pain, she had learned to forgive, but she never forgave. And now her son is dead.
Wow.
As she runs her hand over his limp body, her only response is one tear. Looking at her cry, I cried. See, I cried because there was once a village. I cried because it was our home base. We based our faith on principles built to last, raised our children to hold on to them, but somehow let them slip like it wasn't our present or our future, but it was our past. See, I cry for the sit-ins that we sat in. I cry for the marches that we marched in. I cry for the respect we demanded when we stood for equality and wanted all the bullshit to end. See, I cry for journeys in Greensboro and Selma. I cry for freedom rides and water hoses and boycotts as deep as the Delta. I cry for Albany movements and Birmingham campaigns. I cry for riots, assassinations, and causes, but on their hands, the color of our blood was the stain. See, I cry for Malcolm's ex. I cry for Martin's King.
Come on.
Because in 2010, we're still waiting to hear what it sounds like when freedom rings. See, I cry for